Hello, parents, educators, and nerdy D&D fans. You have found our new home for Area of Effect, a talk show where we discuss how tabletop role-playing games benefit the whole family. We're currently in process of shifting all our old but golden episodes over to this new channel by posting a new episode every weekday until we catch back up to our new episodes. We would love your help getting this new channel up and running with a follow, share, or review. And thanks for joining us on our quest to bring more adventurers to the table.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you were the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality. This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
The very first time I tried to be a dungeon master was a complete and utter disaster. I played with coworkers on my lunch break and I thought, this is so easy. I just follow the words written on this paper and they do what I expect them to do and we have a great time. Naturally, they didn't do any of that because that's not what D&D players do, nor is that what they're expected to do. But I floundered. It was super awkward and I never did it again. I was just like, I guess my role in D&D is to be a player. And I played some wonderful characters. I've been a Tabaxi Ranger. I've been an elf sorceress. I've been a tiefling warlock. I've made pacts with devils. I've blown up entire towns. I've had a great time. I don't need to be a dungeon master. Or so I thought. One day as I was walking to pick my child up from 4th grade, I was walking with my neighbor who at the time had twin 9-year-old girls. And she said, Shelly, my girls have been asking me a lot of questions about Dungeons and Dragons. And I thought, oh, where are they learning about Dungeons and Dragons? Who on earth would be telling them about that? And she said, well, you donated all those books to the school library. And now they want to know. They want to learn how to play. And I'm telling you, it was like the light of Pelor shined down on me at that moment and just filled my heart. And I said, Carrie, then I shall teach them. Send them to my house on Saturday. And sure enough, I immediately went into a panic spiral. But I said, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. They're 9-year-old girls, and this is my duty. This is any adult's duty in the world. If a child wants to learn how to play D&D, you shall make it happen. And we had 3 hours of probably the best role-playing that I've ever experienced in my life. I messed up tons of rules. They messed up tons of rules. I'm not even sure I taught them how to play D&D, but we had 3 hours of just pure imagination, of just watching their little brains open up. And it was at that moment that I said, I will be a dungeon master, but only for kids.
Welcome to Area of Effect, a podcast by the Kids Table, where we discuss how tabletop RPGs benefit kids and answer your questions about playing TTRPGs with the kids at your own table. Today, we are joined by Shelly. Hi, Shelly.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to chat with you today.
Me too.
Shelly is an author and podcast host. She has penned books, columns, short stories, and even plays, mainly revolving around the humor found in her experience of parenthood and middle-aged life, and her love of the game Dungeons and Dragons. Shelly also works as a senior brand manager for Wizards of the Coast and is the co-host of the official Dungeons and Dragons podcast, Dragon Talk. With all of this on her resume, let's just say we are honored to have Shelly on the show today. Welcome.
Thank you. It is my honor to be here.
So your newest book was born today, was birthed into the world. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is just the perfect way to celebrate
Oh, thank you. I'm so thrilled to be a part of the beginning of this book.
Yeah.
So Shelley's new book is called How to Dungeon Master Parenting, a guidebook for gamifying the child rearing quest, leveling up your skills, and raising future adventurers. I bet you have that title memorized, but I definitely
Oh,
had to read it.
no, I don't. Every single time I write it, I'm like, oh, what is it again? It's so long. It's so long. What are you
So
gonna
I
do?
was so excited that your publisher sent me a copy of the book, and I was like cackling out loud. I didn't have a chance to read all of it, but I read a good chunk of it, and
Oh,
I
good.
I was just laughing the whole time. I
Oh,
believe this
good.
book should be on the list of top 10 gifts for nerdy mommy baby showers in
I love
2025.
that.
Totally.
Yes.
How do we get that out there?
Let's make that list.
Yeah. But somehow for each topic, I really appreciated how you had like a humorous perspective, which definitely helps with the parenting stress, while
Definitely.
also saying something meaningful about parenthood and also something poignant about being a dungeon master. I don't know how you mixed all three together,
Oh,
but
wow.
I
That's
loved it.
Thank you. Oh, I love what you just said there. That
Well, thank you.
they are topics that are all very meaningful to me, as it turns out. I have revered dungeon masters for a long time, long before I even took it up myself, but they're just they're just such good people. To put all of that time and effort into our fun, I just like just showing up makes you a good dungeon master.
I totally believe that too. I'm just happy to be at the table no matter who's the
Yeah.
dungeon master, preferably not me, but if it's me, that's okay.
Yes, I
So,
agree.
can you tell us like what inspired you to write this book? How long have you been thinking about it?
Yeah, so I have long joked but not joked that well you can learn anything from a dungeon master. Like they're just these highly enlightened beings. You've probably even read articles where like somebody who's very well known in business is like, well, everything I learned about being a good leader, I learned because I was a dungeon master when I was 10 years old. And
Yeah.
here's a similar list of traits that I practiced as a dungeon master that I now practice in boardrooms. That story is all over Hollywood. Writers, directors, actors, like people say all the time, I cut my teeth on Dungeons and Dragons. I learned how to be a good storyteller because I learned how to be a good dungeon master. Or like I know how to build worlds because that's what my friends and I did every single summer, the whole time, that until we went off to college. So there is a lot of crossover in the skills that you learn playing D&D and being a dungeon master that will transfer into real life. That is why I think it is so important and crucial to get D&D in schools and get kids playing this game just because they're going to learn those hard and soft skills whether they realize it or not. So I spent a lot of time with kids at the D&D club. I found myself often going into dungeon master mode, like, hell yeah, you can do that. Let's just try it and see what happens. And then often going into mom mode, like, are you supposed to be eating that right now? And do not go out there without your armor on, young man. Get back here. Put on these bracers. What's wrong with you? Well, guess which persona the kids responded to better? Obviously, I'm way cooler as a dungeon master. So it started me thinking about, well, what if I started to view the lens of parenting through the eyes of a dungeon master, the way that a dungeon master plans for a campaign, the way that a dungeon master manages these different personalities around the table. Like everybody's motivated by something different. Why is this kid not paying attention? Or why is this kid trying to attack the party? Why is this kid just, going off on his own all the time and like splitting the party up or whatever? Like, what's really motivating you? I realized there is a lot of similarities in parenting small children, especially, and being a dungeon master, and a lot of the the adjectives that one might use to describe a really good dungeon master are the same traits that I try to bring into parenthood. Like I want to be collaborative in this. This is not just me telling you what to do. Like you're a human. This is your world. I want to know what your choices are. I want to know what your opinions are. I think Dungeon masters are very generous. They're very open-minded. They're quick thinking. Like there's, okay, you didn't go left, and I totally thought you would, but now we're all going right, everyone. Um, they are very empathetic. That's one of the best things that D&D can teach somebody. You're actually viewing the world literally in someone else's shoes, exploring the world that's different from your own, interacting with people who are different than yourself. So just gaining these new perspectives. DMs are also really good at taking feedback, whether that is actually verbal feedback or just looking around the table and it's like, they seem uncomfortable with this, or wow, they really loved this NPC. I'm bringing this NPC back. Just being able to accept that feedback and change, adjust as needed. So I started outlining what eventually became this book, just different ways in which DMing could influence parenting for the better. And before I knew it, I had several pages of notes. And I thought, this is true. I think there actually is something fun here. And the goal is not, I'm not an expert. I actually read an AI written description of this book, and they were like, parenting expert Shelly Mazzanoble. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not an expert. Take that out
Now you are.
immediately.
AI said it.
AI,
It is
if
so.
then I guess it is so. There's a hologram of me somewhere out there that probably is an expert, but this I'm just a person who has studied Dungeon Masters and that has fumbled her way through parenting and has found a new way that hopefully parents can just view just through the lens of a fantasy role-playing game, and just the goal is just, hey, here, put this in your toolbox. No judgment. This is a judgment-free zone. If you can find anything in here to inspire the way that you think and act about parenting, go for it. And maybe even start a D&D game yourself.
I love that. You and I were talking earlier about how our preferred styles of D&D is kind of the silly. I will say I do love character development and some like depth to
Yeah.
character growth in it too, but I want to laugh when I'm at the table. You know, there's a lot of seriousness in life, so when I play D&D, I want to let loose a little bit, right? And
Yes.
I was thinking about how, at least for my own kids, they're 4 and 6 right now. If I want them to do something, but I have a little fun with it, it's much more effective than
Yes.
than just being like, put on your shoes. I said, put on your shoes right now, you know. But if we make it a game, I wonder who can put on the shoes first, or
Yes.
you
Gamify
know,
everything.
well, we have at the kids' table, we have made a t-shirt that says parenting is DMing without a rule book. But now you've written a rule book for
Uh,
parenting as a
there you
parenting
go.
expert, according to AI. So,
Yep. Who
so I
else would
guess we
write
need to
this?
amend that shirt, put like a little asterisk.
Except this one. It's technically a guidebook, as it says on the cover. So, we'll let that shirt.
Okay, cool. Thank
Yeah,
you.
totally.
I have permission to continue. Yeah.
Permission granted.
So I'm curious, as somebody who's a parent and somebody who loves inspiring kids to play D&D, what would be, I'm sure this is probably something you've said many times before, what would be your best elevator pitch plug for a parent on why they should start playing D&D with their kids?
Oh, that's a great question. But I guess my answer would be that D&D by its very nature is a vehicle for storytelling. And storytelling is how humans have connected forever and ever and ever. These are the stories that we pass down to each other. These are inside jokes. I'm sure that your family has funny little things that like you had to be there for. They're not funny to other people, but you and your husband and your kids think they're the best thing ever. Those are the bonds that connect us. And when you play D&D together, it not only just gives you an outlet to just let loose, to just relax, it's actually giving you those moments that are going to connect you and your family together. When you play D&D with a group of people, you bond with these people. Like the things that happen to you in game, you kind of take outside a game. Like I remember one of the players that I played with early on, I was a wizard. I like was very squishy, and a monster had fired like a flaming arrow at me or something, and he jumped in front of it and took the damage for me.
Wow.
Like, you did that for me. And I love him still to this day. Like that was like really a pivotal moment in our friendship. So I do feel like you can strengthen your relationships with your kids, with your partner through playing D&D. It's also this wonderful place for kids to just let go. And it's a safe space. It's a safe space for them to like test those boundaries, to take risks safely for self-discovery. They can find different parts of themselves that they want to try out or didn't know was there, or even discover something that they end up loving in the real world because of it. So it's like a family game night, but on steroids. Like there's so much more that can happen behind the scenes that you don't even realize is happening when you play D&D together.
I love that. Totally agree with everything you said. And I also love how the like shared storytelling aspect of it really lifts up the kids' experience and agency within the family. Like a lot of times it's like the hierarchy of here I'm the parent and you're the child. But like when we're at the
Yeah.
table, it's like, okay, it's your turn to contribute something to the story. And it's kind of like everybody equally shares in it and everybody's character's experience and their opinion on where you should go next or what you should do about the bad guy is like equally valuable. So I think for kids, that's kind of a rare thing for their experience to be and their contribution to be valued as equal to an adult's.
I think that's huge. I think you're so spot on about the agency part of playing D&D and how important it is for kids to start learning that hey, my actions have consequences, my opinions matter. I can contribute in a meaningful way. And I don't know if you've experienced this when you play with kids, but mostly I've the kids I played with are between the ages of 9 and 11. They don't really love adults mixing into their world. Like every time I'm like, I'm the headmistress of your school, they're like, get out. Why
Yep.
is she here? They want creatures and they want other kids. Like they it's like adults are kind of like eye rolly and cringe, like, oh my God. Like, and it's probably because like, yeah, your world is controlled by these eye rolly cringe adults and you don't really get a say. But here you do. You can experience, you are in charge. You can actually save an adult, which they've done before. Like, oh my God, this adult just keeps like getting itself. It's like Scooby-Doo, like these meddling kids. But they're always like, saving the day. Here we go again. So I think that is so important because again, it's that safe space for kids to be able to like begin to see like, here's how I can imprint on a world, this fantasy world, but also the real world.
Yeah. And, kids being concrete thinkers or depending on the age range, starting to have abstract thinking. One thing Ryan and I talk about is when adults create a character, there's usually some piece of that character that's a reflection of yourself, but we can also
Yeah.
like take on a different persona that isn't actually like a part of our core identity. But for kids, the character pretty much is them. I mean, maybe they're stronger or faster whatever have different experiences and skills but mainly is them so when they try on those roles that are not how they normally walk through the world they can either realize in a very low risk way like oh I can do this and maybe I can
Yeah.
try this in a safer space in the real world and kind of work myself up to it or they might realize this is definitely not for me and
Yep.
I have learned something about who I'm not in the
Right.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I am interested in hearing more about this, the educational program that you helped
Hmm.
write with Wizards of the Coast. Can you tell me more about that? I'm not aware of that.
Yes, of course. So we partnered with a company called Young Minds Inspired. This is what they do. They write curriculum. They are educators. It's all standards based US because obviously standards are different everywhere you go. Uh, they can you know learn a little bit about the brand, in this case, obviously Dungeons and Dragons, and then they can write curriculum that is inspired by. So like they work with a number of partners. Like if there's a popular movie coming out, they might have curriculum that's inspired by the movie. They will work with the US government on like hand washing curriculum. Like
Oh,
here's why
wow.
it's
Okay.
important to like wash your hands, things like that. They write it for all ages. So we chose to have curriculum for the upper elementary school kids and middle school kids. And really, like, it's not like the goal wasn't really to teach kids how to play Dungeons and Dragons. That will come later. It was really to just give them D&D inspired activities to help them actually learn how to interact with each other again. It came out right after COVID, like right when kids were starting to come back into the classroom. But like I really wanted to focus on that social emotional part of D&D, the collaboration. Like kids are so competitive all the time in their everyday life. It takes a very long time to like hammer that in. Like it's collaborative. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to attack each other. It's
Yes.
you are working together. This person can pick a lock. That's why they're in this party. You can knock down that door if they can't get the lock open. Like, you are, very charming. Like you should be, or cast an illusion. Like letting them know, like everybody's got a different role. Sometimes you're the hero, sometimes you're the assistant, but at the end of the day, you all are the winners because you worked together. So that's the curriculum that we started with. It was very much rooted in the language arts and social emotional. And I will say that even though the people at Young Minds Inspired had not played D&D, they just got it. They were like, this is almost too easy. Like this is so
Wow.
like this is like what D&D is bringing to the table was like it's a seamless integration into the classroom. And it's not that like we are the first people to like put D&D in classrooms. Teachers have been using tenets of D&D in one way or another in their classrooms. We're just giving them the tools to make it easier. And it was immensely popular. Within the first 3 months, we had reached millions of
Wow.
parents and teachers and kids because the educators in this country just got on board. And I think because a lot of them were probably kids that played D&D and they just can see the the fun in playing D&D, the joy of playing D&D, the like the imagination, the creativity that comes from it, but it's also like rooted in educational standards. Yes, please.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah, it
no-brainer.
was yeah, and it's free for teachers to download. You can
Wow.
go to ymiclassroom.com/dd, not DND, just DD, and you can download it. And the activities are so fun. Like you could just have your kids do them at home. It's not even like, oh, this is schoolwork. It's like, no, this is actually just fun. You're
Oh,
making a
that's great.
map.
I was going to ask that. Could like a homeschool family or even just a family that
Oh
wants
yeah,
to use
yeah.
it use
No, they
it?
have a lot.
Yeah,
A lot of
outside.
their audience is homeschool parents, and yeah, these are great resources. I tell people all the time, like just download them and let your kids have fun doing it. It's really
That's
they're
so
that
cool.
entertaining. Yes, and we
Yeah,
have a lot of them. Like we've been putting out two different batches a year for the last 2 or 3 years. So there's plenty of activities up there to keep you busy.
that's great. Yeah, I'm excited to check that out.
Yeah, I hope you do.
Um, I liked how you mentioned, I've been talking with a lot of different guests that have come on this podcast about how, D&D in general is having a renaissance moment and has been for the past handful of years. But I think particularly aiming younger is gaining popularity. Like if you asked a parent maybe 10 years ago, like, oh, do you want to try D&D with your kid? They'd be like, what? Isn't that an adult only game?
Right.
But now like there's so much more like family friendly material and all sorts of varieties out there. And it seems like it's gaining momentum with kids and schools and libraries, programs
Yeah.
for kids. And, I think part of that is the factor where like when I was a kid, I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So now that I'm a parent, I want my kids to have Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yes.
Turtle stuff. So it's a great moment for the movie companies to make a new movie of Teenage
Yes.
Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I think part of it is that. But what else do you see in culture that's kind of a catalyst for D&D having a renaissance moment specifically with kids right now?
Well, I think what you're saying is huge, that there is a generational appeal. Like we do see like a lot of the audience that grew up with D&D is their parents now, and they remember what D&D meant to them and they want to share that experience with their own families. There's also been a huge influx in fantasy. So like when I was a kid, like fantasy was kind of weird. Like, like There was like The Hobbit, but like other than that, like not a lot of kids were into fantasy. And it's very mainstream now. A lot of kids, that's, talk to any school librarian and they'll say like, yeah, fantasy is, a huge interest for these kids. So I think anything that promises a dungeon, anything that promises a dragon, it's going to get their attention. Those kids that joined my club and that were on the wait list forever, they they never played D&D before. They didn't know what it was. And
Yeah.
yet they were like, "Yes, pencil, paper? Yeah, I'll do this." Like,
Yeah.
really? Like it's pretty it, yeah, it's pretty shocking. But I think the mainstream element of fantasy, I think the need for people to be face to face again, to have this way to connect with each other. And of course, you can play D&D online and it's still very meaningful, of course. But I'm assuming that your kids aren't. Your 6-year-old's not like in a different
No.
country than you are. But it's, yeah, just having this way to just connect with people, to tell those stories, to share and, create these bonds, I think is what we're all after, especially after those COVID years. I think the biggest thing that I learned from dungeon masters and being a dungeon master myself is one of the most important things I wish I knew as a new parent, and that is you just can't prepare for this.
That is so true and so
It's
annoying.
it's someone, yes, it is. Like I wish I could say like, yeah, just be a dungeon master and everything will go as planned. It does not. But the difference between a parent and a dungeon master is dungeon masters relish the unexpected. They love that. They love not knowing what the players are going to do. So if we parents can just take a little bit of that essence and just be like, I don't know what kind of kid I'm getting. I don't know what they're going to be interested in doing. I don't know what the world is going to be like. Okay, I'm just trust that you and this child are going to level up at the appropriate time. You will continue to gain those skills. You will continue to become more powerful and more aware of the world around you. And when those obstacles come and those challenges find you, you will be okay. It was in you all along.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
What a great thing to share, especially with like new parents or parents who are
Yeah.
feeling inadequate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I definitely have, even 11 years into it, find myself thinking, I'm doing a terrible job. But wait, no, this is just a challenge. This is a milestone. I'm going to level up after we get through this.
Well, what resources do you want to plug to support families who want to play D&D together, whether they're just getting started or have already been going for it for years?
Yes. Well, I would say if you are 13 and over, you can get an account on D&D Beyond. dndbeyond.com, because one of the greatest tools that ever existed is the character builder. And if you just want to make characters with your kids, if it's so easy, you can even just do random and that's really fun, but like it just walks you through the character creation process. And that, maybe you can attest to this as well.
Yeah.
Kids want to create their own characters.
Oh, yeah.
They were just like, oh, like so disgusted by my pre-gens. They were like, what is this? I know I'm not going to be this made up person that you already thought about. They like to make their own characters. It's a really fun activity. So I would say start there, but also check out our school curriculum, ymiclassroom.com/DD. Check out all their great curriculum, because if your kid is into a particular brand or IP, they probably have activities around it. I would also recommend Peril in Pinebrook. This is a family-friendly adventure that we created specifically for new dungeon masters and new players. It does have pre-gens. I'm sorry. You can shun those if you want, but they're actually pretty cool pre-gens and they go very well with the story. But it is very intro friendly. It is really fun, and it's free. You can download it. Just Google Peril in Pinebrook, and it'll come up on our website. And just that's a great way to start your family game night, and hopefully enjoy D&D for many years to come.
Thanks for listening to Area of Effect. Be a part of the ongoing conversation. Follow us on Instagram at the Kids Table D&D, where you can DM us questions that might appear on a future show. And check out the Kids Table D&D on YouTube to see how we include kids and teens at the table. Brought to you by the Kids Table, because when kids are at the table, everyone wins.